Good day, goeiedag, fellow South Africans. And this is a New Year's message to all my thousands of subscribers, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you on board. Whether you are black, white, of color, it doesn't matter to me, okay? Our common vision is the future of our kids. This is a New Year's Eve message I want to send out to everybody. We might have our differences, and we do have our differences. We have our own belief system. We have our own memories which shape what we think. Nothing's going to change that. But my message to all my subscribers is that, look, I love all of you. I know some of you who try to do harm to me on my channel. I know some of you really love what I put up here, and you all have differing views on where I'm going with all this. My channel is all about a reality check on where South Africa is going. And that's why I called my channel Wake Up South Africa. There's no right and there's no wrong answer. It would be so easy to point fingers at someone and say, well, it's their fault. And I think there's far too much finger pointing going on right now with the politicians. Let me assure you that if you lose that minority white population in South Africa, the Chinese will come marching in before you can even blink. And if you think or thought times under the Europeans or the Boers was bad under apartheid, you have no idea what the colonization of South Africa by the Chinese will do to your community. You will be indentured slaves for the rest of your lives. You will work just to get food. You won't get an income. You will live like many of the Chinese in their homeland live, in tiny little boxes. They will totally intrude on you in every single way. Okay, enough of this negativeness. Let me just say this to you guys. We know that there were things that were wrong that were done in the past, okay? There's no question about that. But over half of the white population living in South Africa today never ever voted before 1994. And yet they've been treated like they are criminals. The reason there is such a huge influx of peoples from the north into South Africa, even today, is because of the utilities and the institutions that the white person set up in South Africa. Now, in 2019, South Africa has one of two choices. They either start embracing the white people and bringing them back into decision making, or two, they continue with corruption and with this ridiculous expropriation of land without compensation. And what they're going to do, there's a lovely old saying, shoot yourself in the foot. And what the Africans are going to do is shoot themselves in the foot if they go ahead with expropriation of land without compensation. Look at Venezuela. Look at Zimbabwe. How are you going to do any different? The only people who are going to make money out of this whole scam are the political leaders who will push their money offshore, and when things get really tough, they'll just leave the country and go and live somewhere else. That's my message to their supporters. You know, when pre-1994 there was a white government, if a government official committed any type of fraud and it was uncovered, it immediately became a huge issue, and that person was thrown out of government. Here lies the rub. In the modern, post-1994 South Africa, politicians can rape and pillage and do whatever they like to public utilities like Eskom, and they never, ever face court. It's theft, guys. It's theft. So, I'm trying to find a bright side for the year coming ahead, 2019. And the only way I can see things changing for the better in South Africa in 2019 and stopping the mass exodus of white South Africans from the country who do have tremendous skills is by getting rid of affirmative action, asking people to apply for top jobs in the state-owned enterprises, including all colors. I know this is a pipe dream and I know it won't happen, but this is the only way I see South Africa surviving. I think 2019 is going to be a very, very traumatic year. My advice from the very start is to minority groups and mainly the white population who keep on being told they're settlers, even though their parents might have been there 300 years ago, is that they get the hell out of there. I know there are a lot of South Africans who can't because they're poor, because they've got elderly family members and people like that, which really inhibit their ability to move somewhere else. Really, what the white population needs to do is to have a place like Arania. Arania is fantastic. It's crime-free. It's the only place in South Africa that's crime-free. And guess what the common denominator is? It's run by white people. Now, I've advocated from the start that the whites should grab a piece of South Africa and just say this is our state and defend its borders, because let's face it, the South African Defence Force is useless. Let's face it, the police force is useless. It's like a bunch of bats flying around in the dark. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And if a group of white South Africans in 2019 got together and just carved off an area of South Africa and said, this is now our separate state, and all those private security companies which are white owned participated in something like this, you have a window of opportunity to make this work, because right now the Chinese are becoming far more influential in what's going on in South Africa. You have to look no further than their police stations now in South Africa. I mean, what other country in the world has police stations in South Africa? They are working towards colonizing the whole of southern Africa and Africa as well. So my 2019 message to my subscribers and to people who watch my channel is that the Africans need to realize that the Chinese are duping them. Under the Chinese, you will become slaves in a far bigger way than you ever experienced under apartheid. In China, they have millions of Chinese who work in prison camps, and those prison camps are actually factories, and the labor in there works for the super rich in China, and the only remuneration they get is being able to have a feed once a day. So they don't get a salary at all. And this can be a lifetime, a whole lifetime just spending like that. You guys in Africa have got no idea about how cruel, how mean the Chinese are. And they're right on top of your case right now. Kenya's in real trouble. That's something we learnt this year. The port of Mombasa is now Chinese owned because of the debt trap. And South Africa is falling into the debt trap. You know, you might sort of jump up and down and say, hey guys, you know, this is our land, da 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 da. Believe me, it's not. The Chinese are taking over. And the only route out for the African population, because they'll become slaves again under the Chinese colonialists, the only way out is for affirmative action to be thrown away, BEE to be thrown away, because it's killing the country. I get so many people sending me comments and sending me emails saying, we're leaving South Africa because we can't operate our business there anymore. We're going to go to America, or we're going to go to Australia, or we're going to go to Europe, and we're going to set up there. We can do it. We know what we're doing. And you know what that does to your economy next year? It destroys it. And it takes from your tax base. And you need tax revenues to actually provide support to those who need it. Those are the voters. And what you're doing is you're ostracizing the very people who could help you. You're pissing them off. So 2019 is a pivotal year. I would love to see 3 things happen in 2019, okay? And that is that 2 political parties are barred from competing in the elections. That's the BLF and the FF. Secondly, that affirmative action is thrown out the window. And thirdly, that BEE, when it comes to business, is also just cast out the window. Believe me, if that very small starting point isn't looked at by the government in South Africa, I have my own prediction for the end of 2019, and that is that South Africa will be in a state of complete chaos. And that chaos will impact everyone, including Ramaphosa's family, and including a huge level of starvation. I know no one's going to listen to me in government in South Africa because they think I'm just a racist, which is fine, it's their point of view. But I've always tried to be balanced, and I've always tried to set out my points of view. So please, listen to what I say, and Happy New Year for 2019, and I will continue to work for the minority peoples, looking at opportunities for them to escape from the madness that's going on in South Africa. Okay, guys, remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and all the best for 2019. Bye for now.